Joining me now is Ross Foreman. Ross Foreman must be the grandmaster of real estate. So Ross, look, I've been in real estate now since 1994. I met you then and you're still in real estate now. You must have the most knowledgeable real estate information career in the industry. So can you give us a bit of a background when you started and why you're still here?
Good. Okay, can do that. And I remember every day just about.
Right.
Not really, but I started in 1972. I
was born in 1968.
There you are.
So it's 4 years.
Just a little fella.
Yeah.
So 72, started at Barfoot and Thompson in Royal Oak.
Okay.
And I had great years there. And the key with that was good master. You know, the trainer, the guy that was the manager there was of my ilk. He was an ex-motor mechanic. Grew up, you know, in the country down in Wanganui. So we sort of matched each other. But he was a real hands-on realtor, and the key that I found there was learn how to write a good contract, what was in the contract meant something and got you the deal, got the vendor the deal. Also writing good copy. In those days we had 5-line run-on ads and you couldn't have a wasted word.
Right.
So 5-line run-on ads was about 26 words. So you had to make damn good choices, you know, in that process. So, you know, and I look at ads today and the first 5 lines are about, you will love this executive home. Who's telling me what? So it's changed a lot in that sense.
There's no cell phones.
No
computer.
No phone. No, nothing like that. My boss gave me a little tobacco tin of coins, you know, which I had to put down under the seat. So when I needed them, I had to find a phone box and make a call from there, you know.
How interesting.
Yeah, so vastly different. So, you know, you had to listen to what people were telling you and learn as hard as you could because you didn't want to be way in the back of Mount Roskill or somewhere like that and then suddenly find you didn't know something.
How do you show the client in those days? Meaning, like, do you travel by car, bus, bike?
Most times you'd meet them somewhere around the corner. You know, you wouldn't tell them what the address was. That was all secret squirrel stuff. And so you'd say, look, I'll meet you up at White Swan Road and then follow me. And I'd wave to the guy if he was sitting on the side of the road. We'd go around the corner and then enter the house, you know. So you'd have a key or the key would be under the mat, you know, or the key would be under a stone at the front door. Or you carried your own leg keys to get in through the back door.
So fast straight forward now to this current day. What are you doing now?
What I'm doing today, I'm talking to people like Don Ha, or I'm talking to a lot of people. I'm independent auctioneer around. I've got a number of good clients. So we are at the coalface, and that's what I love about the industry. You know, you've got to take the highs and the lows as you go through, and being at the coalface is always hugely important, I think, and that's what I am today. So I can still sit down and talk to people about what I see happening suburb by suburb. What always brushes me off in this business, Don, is they talk about the Auckland market. Well, you know, there's 108 or 112 suburbs in the Auckland market, and they're individual, and they're street by street and side of the street by side of the street, aren't they? Really, you know. So it's nonsense, that sort of thing. And I find, you know, we've gone nowhere, the media, with in-depth, well thought out commentary that is still very poor. And you know, you just go back to the newspapers. I'm a mad newspaper collector. Newspaper clippings of 07, 08, 09. The same stories are just being pulled out and rewritten today. Same things.
And how long have you been an auctioneer now?
Since 1980.
How many auctions would it be called now?
About 15,000 now, just on 15,000.
15,000?
Yeah.
You still have a voice?
Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah. Well, I started, you know, in my youth in Taranaki, where we had a dance band, as it was called in those days. It'd be called a rock band today, but it was a dance band, because you had to do everything. You had to be versatile. And so, you know, that's what gave me rhythm, really, I think. And I'm a rhythm auctioneer, like the speed of keeping the banter going.
So when you're a freelance auctioneer, you call for anyone. You're not assigned to, say, Barfoot or Harcourts or anyone.
No. So, and I find that in my senior years, I suppose, Don, it's you know, you're able to talk to people on a different level. You know, you've been paid your fee, and you can sit down and have a natter with somebody, a vendor that is well overpriced or whatever, and try and help them. Where I think most agents today are just probably going and saying the market's changed. So what the
Yes.
heck's that mean? You know, the market's changed. The
Yep.
only thing that's changed in the market that I see, as opposed to the global financial crisis and the Japanese financial situations we had earlier on, is that you can now clearly see and I understand motivation is gone. So the only thing that I think is important to an agent today or to a seller is understanding what motivation means and how, you know, what you've got to do to create motivation. The buyers are suddenly gone over this side and the sellers are still up where they are.
Yeah.
I personally think, and having experience of other crashes, bringing most vendors into a real world, if they have to come into a real world, might take 18 months to 2 years.
What's your career highlight and your career low experience?
A career highlight, I would say, would be selling the Fletcher estate out on the top of the Pakuranga Hill there. You know, that was an $8.1 million sale under the hammer.
Yeah.
And I've had, you know, in my Bailey's days, I was with Bailey's, set up their auction division in '87, in May '87. Not understanding what we were going into. By October '87, you might remember, on the 18th,
Yes.
the crash happened then, you know. So, and we had that, at that stage, the Fletcher estate scheduled for auction, big tents, big marquee, all the stuff, you know, out in the country, for auction on the 28th. Should we go? Should we stop? Should we go? Should we stop? So that was a big learning curve, you know, to keep going. Well, huge crowd turned up, you know, and Huey Green and all those sorts of people turned up as well. And, you know, we finally got an opening bid at $3 million. We sold it for 8.1. So
Wow. So your auction fee is still the same if you sell a property for 15 million to 600,000.
Yeah.
It's still the same fee. It doesn't go up or down.
You could make $1 million for a seller and he doesn't even give you a bottle of champagne.
Well,
that's the way it is.
That's a good will in the service of an auctioneer, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I don't think people realise what a good auctioneer can do, you know, and it's no good sitting down.
So tell me, you not only do the auction, but you also do training as well?
Yes. Yes, I had my own, when I left Bailey's, I had my own training business, and we essentially did a lot of work for Harcourts in those days, setting up the auction system within Harcourts and then doing training. I said to Stephen Collins at the day, look, what you need to do is train all your managers on how to be able to do an auction. You know, now they probably won't ever work at it, but they need to understand from one. Those were 3-day courses. We used to run them down at Hotel Devon and places like that. You know, really start. So they come into the training 8 o'clock in the morning, and we'd work through to 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night. No booze, just get on with the job.
Well, 15,000 auctions is a huge number, and I haven't met anyone that does 15,000 auctions. So but we are engaging you for your service to give some of our staff some knowledgeable information that you store, and we're looking forward to have you to do that, and I'm looking forward to spend some more time with you and get all your wise wisdom advice. Thank you for coming on the show.
Good, thank you.
Thank you, Ross.